Feature Friday.
The freshest.
Hey.
Okay.
What up, people?
Party time.
What up? What's happening? Welcome to Feature Friday Plus. Today, as you can see, we are joined by the beautiful Morissette. How's it going, Mori?
Hi, I'm doing very, very good. Thank you so much for having me. I'm honored. I'm excited.
No, it's a pleasure. Honestly, it's super cool to have the opportunity to talk to you. It's been a wild ride to discover your music. So super cool to have you on.
Thank you so much. How are you guys over there?
Yeah, good. It's getting cold, cozy over here.
It's starting
Finally
to feel
Christmassy.
It's starting to feel Christmassy.
You know what? In the Philippines, you actually start Christmas early. Like the moment it hits September, you're already hearing Christmas jingles everywhere.
Back home in Venezuela is the same. In Venezuela is the same. We do the same.
Nice.
So we start like celebrating Christmas right off like the first day of September. Yeah. And then we take down our Christmas decorations like the 6th of January. Yeah.
Right, that's right. It's the same over here. Yeah.
Actually,
Dia de Reyes, we take down everything off.
But to be fair, like the odd thing about like being in London now, have you ever been to like in Christmas time to London?
Not in Christmas time, but I have been there in London, yes.
Well, in Christmas, it feels like a bloody movie. Because you know, like the little Christmas movies and stuff, it feels like that. And But where we're from in South America, Christmas is more like, I don't know.
Tropical.
Like, it's like beach and party time. Perhaps similar to there in the Philippines, I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I mean, like over here, it's pretty hot. It doesn't really feel like Christmas, like with the weather at least. But I mean, just with the decorations and the malls are like hitting all those Christmas music.
Oh, it's awesome.
Is it big? You're doing Christmas. Is it like the gigging scene? I mean, maybe this year because it's been kind of very difficult with things with the pandemic and stuff. But is it usually in Christmas like a big time to gig and concerts and is it the season for that as well?
It is. I mean, like a lot of companies and brands get us artists for like just to sing for their Christmas parties and events. And of course, people just having their Christmas shows and New Year countdowns everywhere. Definitely right now, it's actually just been like a week since things really started to open up here in Manila at least. And so we're very, very excited for like the live scene, just live events coming back here in Manila. We're very excited.
That sounds fantastic. I have to be honest, it's been pretty wild having everything online and the world coming to like, a close basically. It's so exciting when everything opens up back again. I'm looking forward to everything just being back to normal. For you guys, because it's been wild. You've been stuck inside for so long.
It's been a challenge. I mean, it really did allow for everyone to just try to expand. And like for myself, I really wanted to just really work on digital and content. And so here we are doing all these different stuffs on YouTube and just all the different social medias. And it's okay, but I'm still someone who really loves like the live show feeling and experience. That's why I'm so excited to just get back on tour and just perform for everyone in person and live.
I
must say, Morissette, you're very charming.
Yes. Thank you.
There's an odd charm to you. You're very happy.
Really?
Very positive.
Well, we have to be. I mean, there's already so much going on in life, but like, I mean, right now, today is just a good day, just doing errands. But I still have my crazy low days. But I mean, today was a good, fair day.
That's good.
You remind me of my mother. That's what she says.
What?
Serious?
Really?
Yeah, she's very like jolly and happy all the time. She always says that. Like, just I don't know, look for the the good things. But I must say, something I'm very interested in you. It's and very it's certainly a privilege to have you come on and kind of have a chance to speak to you. Is the beginning of music? Is it perhaps you kind of grew up singing? Is your family perhaps very into music? What was the beginning story like?
Yes, my family has just always been very, very, I grew up to a very musically inclined family, basically. And so I guess even when I was in my mom's tummy, I was already feeling the music because my dad was a musician, and every time he'd have gigs, my mom would just go and visit, and she'd tell me stories about how when my dad would play and his band would play, that she would feel her tummy kind of like stiffen up. So that's probably me having a party and then her tummy or something. And just until and then when I'm out and I was young and baby, I've just always been surrounded by music. And so I was just able to really just carry that over to just doing singing competitions around the province that I was from here in the Philippines, to just even just simple stuff at school, extra co-curricular activities where it involves music. I'd always be there, I'd always be present. So I was always surrounded. I've just always loved singing and performing ever since.
That's amazing.
Did he teach you to sing, your father?
Yes, my dad did. He was very strict with me when it came to like just singing in notes and in tune. And so I think it really helped me right now to become the singer that I am today, just being very conscious of different like techniques and stuff. And so, and my mom also just being able to perform and how to be able to just relay the message of the song. So I think it's safe to say that they really worked hand in hand to be able to mold me into the kind of artist and singer and performer that I am also here today.
that makes a lot of sense. It's interesting because your singing technique is very refined. It's something that it strikes a lot of people. It's a phenomenon, right? So something that comes so natural to you that takes a lot of people, years to study. It's really cool to hear that, there's a refined background to it all, and there's a method to the madness, and it's
definitely.
And there's a peace of mind that comes with it, because
yes.
That then your favorite artists, people that you look forward to their careers in the future, have a very reliable backbone to it. Because it happens so often that you fall in love with a brand new artist, you fall in love with their artistry and their performance and their careers, and then they disappear, health reasons, because they don't have the right technique to back up the power. It's actually a peace of mind to know that there's such a backbone to it all. It's fantastic.
Yes.
What was the most challenging part of learning singing technique? Because it's a grueling process. It's actually the most boring part of singing. How did you get through it? What was your initial motivation?
Started quite young, I would imagine.
I started joining singing competitions here in the Philippines. I was 9 years old, and so my parents would just kept training me. I would have to be honest, I really didn't enjoy the training process as well. I didn't like having to sing my dad would let me sing every day after school. The moment I get home from school, I would even prioritize my singing before I do my homework. He would let me do at least an hour of singing every day, and sometimes I'm just not in the mood for it, but I have to do it. And at that time, I didn't really see the value of everything he was doing. It was only really a couple of years later when me and my family decided to relocate here in Manila and just pursue my career and music, that it really taught me to just really take care of myself and just have to sacrifice so many things just to be able to get to where I really wanted to be and just to really sing and perform. And so even up till today, I still struggle with that discipline of trying to maintain just certain routines and just taking care of even my health also. But I think one of the things that I've learned, especially during the pandemic, is just to really take care of myself also, and not just have to really prioritize on, or just like maybe be smarter with my time and not just really work. Because I've also, especially in the past 10 years that I've been just singing and just my career, it's been 10 years. I've also had those seasons in the 10 years that I completely lost my voice. And it was in those moments that was like an eye opener for me, that reminded me that I'm still human. I still need a break. I still need to rest my voice. I can say no sometimes. And so I think it's really just a balance of everything. And it's not just, I think it's a balance of pursuing your dream, but at the same time also enjoying life, because I mean, we're just still very, very blessed.
It's odd, isn't it? Because especially when you're in the industry, it feels like in an everlasting race that but it always feels like
yes.
you're behind. So I guess making that realization that it's all right to say no. It probably took you some time, but it probably was a relief.
Yes, 10 years. 10 years for me to actually like realize that I can also prioritize myself sometimes. And so that's where I am, especially with the pandemic. I've tried to just really be very hands-on with my career and even my schedule, and just have that time for myself, for me to recharge emotionally, my voice, my mindset, and just everything. Because, you know, as much as I enjoy performing also in my career, it can get very tiring as well, just like every other job.
Absolutely.
And so,
Hey, what the fuck,
yeah.
Morissette? 10 years, dude. That's a long time, dude.
That's a
Yes.
lifetime.
That's long.
That's a grown kid.
So
Yeah, I know.
so certainly, I mean, just the fact that you've had such a lengthy career and you know, to many more years, but 10 years is certainly impressive. I'm sure you know that. I think that's probably the most difficult thing to do, longevity
Yeah.
in the music industry. It's like the biggest titan that I think every artist has to battle.
And I think it also comes with a whole perspective of understanding balance is such a difficult task. Like, it takes people more than 10 years to understand balance. I mean, and it comes in every aspect of your life, doesn't it? Like, you know, your career, your personal life, your goals and your mindset and your mental health and everything else that surrounds it. And especially in the entertainment industry, we grew up in the entertainment industry as well in Venezuela, and so we understand the pressure that the environment itself puts you on, and you don't understand it, you don't quite get it, that you're under pressure right until you're at the breaking point. And it's really interesting, you know, to hear it from somebody like you who's had such a successful career, that you know, you're taking the time to understand when is what and where you should place yourself. Is what's your favorite go-to perfect mindset? Like, what do you do to recharge yourself?
Yeah, what do you do to relax then?
To relax, I mean, I've only also just discovered this like a year ago. For the past 10 years, I kept like grinding and just singing everywhere, not saying no. And I mean, it took a toll on my voice, and I had to realize it one way or another. But in the past years, just sometimes it's just stepping away from music also, even if it just takes maybe a day or maybe even a week, like no music. I'm just gonna relax. Right now, I'm very enthusiastic about plants. And so that has been my therapy for the past year, especially during the pandemic, just staying inside, just taking care of my plants, and just even watching plant videos.
What did you
anything.
say? Plants?
Yeah.
Plants, yes.
Oh, right, like little trees sort of thing.
Yes. Plants, foliage, leaves. So that's been...
It's so bizarre, dude, because back home, that's like the hobby a lot of people have. In South America, like if you go into a house, it looks like a mini Amazon rainforest.
Yeah.
Yes, that's my place right now. I mean, you can't really tell with this frame, but if I move the camera a bit, you'll see my little jungle in my tiny condo.
Because people, I don't know, I don't want to sound superstitious or whatever, but back home they really have this belief of like, if you're surrounded by nature, even in the city, it does have this it rejuvenates you, and it makes you feel more alive.
It's like there's some sort there's some sort of like white witch craftery to it all.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's really cool.
But people love it back home.
There's like a whole method to it.
Really? Well, I mean, I do it because I just think it's fun. It's not really for anything. I just think it's fun. It interests me. I'm attracted to different kinds of like leaves and colors and all of that.
Cool.
But yeah. That's just a different outlet, I guess.
I could never keep like a plant alive. I try to keep it like a con. Honestly, in my best efforts, I
think Vale killed a cactus once.
I did. I let it rot.
It's okay, me too.
I don't even know. I don't even know what happens. Anyways, I hate plants. I can't keep them alive. So
it's okay.
The thing is, like, I promised myself, like, the minute that I can keep a plant alive, I'll get myself a pet. but because that doesn't happen, I'm not giving myself a pen either.
Good, very good.
I think it doesn't really translate, because even me having to just learn all of this in the past couple of years, I don't think, because in school they tell you just need sunlight and watering, sometimes even every day, and then I did that with a couple of my first plants and they also died. I also failed. And so I realized after a lot of research that not all plants are the same. It's like people. Not everyone is the same. Different plants require different types of care. And I mean, that's also the same with people. And it's like when they ask me, how do I really take care of my voice? I always say that it's actually different per artist, because I know of singers who like to drink ice cold water before a performance. And if that were me, my voice would be dead and numb.
Mine too.
Not in a good way.
Listen.
But I'm also, I'm also the kind of person who likes to drink coffee before a performance. And for other people, they don't really like that because it dries up their throat, but it works for me. And so, just this stuff I learned with taking care of plants alone.
Actually, now that you tackle that, I would love to know more about, your vocal health, because that's something that's, like you said, is so peculiar to everybody. I recently just lost my voice. That's why I sound a little croaky.
No.
Yeah, last week it was terrible for me. But what are your specific, set of things that you have to do before performing? Because for everybody, they've got the rituals. I think each artist has their own very set personal rituals. What are yours?
Yeah. Well, I'm not very bougie. I just try to keep myself hydrated. I mean, coffee. I'm not black. I'm not really a very a serious coffee drinker. I just like coffee to kind of perk me up a bit before a performance. But lots of water, definitely. I also try to keep talking before a performance just to kind of warm up my voice. I don't really do the traditional vocal warm-ups I don't always do that. Sometimes I do when I'm in the mood, but for when I'm not in the mood and just for fast events, I don't really do that. I just try to sing random songs just to kind of in that way warm up my voice. It's really just that. For me at least, it's really just that. It's nothing crazy for me, but I guess it's just different for everyone. And definitely right after, I just try to really just bring down my voice, especially having to sing so many high notes in a show. I just have to, the moment I step down from the stage, I just try to bring my voice back down and just rest it a bit and hydrate a lot, because I don't really drink water also when I'm on stage. I tend to forget. So
that's crazy. I don't know, I could never get through. I mean, in theater, what we do is that we have on the wings, by the wings, we have you have your station. So in their station, you got your tissues, your towels, everything that you need, plus whatever beverage that you can sip up real quick.
Yes.
We used to have this energy gels, how the cyclists
isotonic gels.
Yeah, how the cyclists do it, but they're the ones that you they're like jellies. They're really cool. They really help, but
disgusting, man.
But they're kind of sugary, so they give you phlegm. So you have to be careful how many you take. It's terrible. What are your hard no's when it comes to prep before singing? So things that you would never do.
Certainly not cold water for you, but
not cold water for me. I try to also not try to talk too much. I mean, I try to talk just to warm it up, but not too much to the point where my voice also gets tired before a gig. Not screaming, I guess. And I mean, I think it's just that. I just try to be mindful before an event and not be reckless and just be responsible, I guess, in some way.
It's so intriguing because you're certainly, one of those singers that does have a lot of power vocals in her performance and high notes and whistles, and
it's a very exhausting set of things that you got to.
But it's so cool to see you have a much more linear and just sort of mindful and laid back approach. Just careful, nothing too bizarre, because we've really seen growing up, performing. We've seen all types of fucking rituals that people do, like rum, a shot of rum before going on. I used to see this singer. He would get whiskey before the performance.
Yeah.
We've seen people not talk for hours.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Mental. So it's so cool to see you be a bit more, I don't know, a bit more linear, laid back about it. And it doesn't surprise me, because that's also, I guess, one of the things that plays into longevity. If you turn everything so regimented and so
take the fun out of it,
it stops becoming, I guess, free art and just enjoying. So it doesn't surprise me either.
Yeah, I just try to really enjoy every moment and just cater to myself and make things fun for me and that work for me. Of course, there's some stuff that don't really work during the first time, so I change it up a bit. But yeah, I mean, that's really just one thing that I've learned in the past, just in the recent couple of years, that to really just enjoy and not take everything too seriously, because it can really get very, like, the pressure can just build up on you and just you get so burned out easily, which has happened to me also, which is kind of why I decided to maybe change my mindset on all of it and just enjoy. And yes, definitely longevity right now. That's the goal, to just keep singing, especially with the kinds of songs that I do sing. That's why, especially with working on the signature EP, I just tried to really make songs that I feel I'll be able to perform even when I'm like a couple decades after today, right? Like, even when I'm kind of older and my voice is kind of went down or just more bassy, but I could still sing those songs. So yeah.
I must say as well, that was a very impressive EP. It was very enjoyable.
Thank you.
Because it provided new elements, I guess, that were very not
brand new set of layers about you.
Yeah, which I guess what's certainly interesting as someone who has enjoyed, your previous work and covers and another original work, and it, I think probably one of the tracks that stuck with me a lot is I think it was Trophy, which has like reggae arrangements.
Yeah.
So that was certainly bloody fun to see, and it was really cool seeing you do R&B as well, kind of more pop commercial R&B. So
I think my favorite track on the signature EP is definitely Mirrors, though. Like that whole idea of this smoldering R&B, fantastic.
It's an impressive project.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Tell us a little bit more about like the whole creative process of signature, because it's really well thought through, and you can see that it went through a lot of thinking process before it was even born. Tell us a little bit more about that.
I would imagine lots of pressure on this EP as well. So
definitely.
That also, definitely. I think so. I've always just had this goal in the last couple of years to just really release more originals. Just because, I mean, I've been doing a lot of covers, and even with shows, I just do covers. And so there was also that clamor from my audience and from my supporters that I should be putting out more originals. I haven't written a single song before the pandemic, just because I didn't think I had it in me to just make a song. And so I was just always comfortable interpreting other people's music. It wasn't until, but it was a goal of mine. It wasn't until during the pandemic when I've had the time to just, and also because there weren't any live shows, and I suddenly had all these free time, and so like, okay, maybe this is the time for me to kind of work on original music. And so of course I collaborate also with my now fiance. His name is Dave, and he's really the one who's a songwriter between the two of us, and he really helped me with just the collaborating process and just going back and forth on different topics and just the styles I wanted to do. But I think generally for the signature EP, I really wanted to kind of showcase my different influences of just the different kinds of music that I really like. Because in reality, although people kind of tag me as like a singer who really just does ballads most of the time, I'm really someone who listens to different kinds of music, whether it be like R&B and reggae and pop, depending on the mood, even gospel and theater or Broadway. And so I kind of tried to just put that into one like playlist or one EP. And just with the songwriting process as well, I just wanted it to be music that people are able to really resonate with regardless of what they're going, or like just with whatever they're going through in life. That's why it's with different topics, different moods also. And so I also really like how a lot of my fans, they don't have one favorite, or not everyone as a collective has just one favorite, or they think it's just one song that's good. I like how they're able to have different favorites from the 5 songs, just because I don't know. It's just I like being able to put out different kinds of music, I guess, right now, and just something that's tying all of it is just my voice, and just how I was able to maybe interpret also these songs and just these messages to everyone. So, I mean, it was my first time songwriting and producing, but with the help of my team, I am just really, really happy I decided to step out and decide to grow also as an artist. It was about time also, after 10 years, just that growth as well.
I mean, it's I think it makes a lot of sense now that you mention it. Like, it's also different moods and different kind of influences. Because if you do, I think when we were reviewing that EP on the podcast, we were discussing, it's like it feels like you're going through perhaps what Morissette's
mindset,
or like a day, like each day of a week, or a different time of the day. And it makes, you know, a lot more sense now. But it certainly must have been certainly, I mean, of course, a new experience writing. But what kind of made you what did you find inspiration in when you were writing with Dave and maybe your team? What was the writing process like for all of that?
I think what really inspired me to try and just really try songwriting was, I guess, Dave also, and just a lot of people who have been encouraging me to also try to write in the past years. Like even working with Michael Bolton before, and you know, he's someone who writes his own songs. And when I was working with him, right, and he's a legend, and just working with him and getting to talk to him, he'd always tell me to just try to write something, even just a word or a phrase, just all of those things. And it wasn't just him; it was all of the people that I got to, all the different people and mentors and musicians that I got to work with in the past decade, who have just been very encouraging and just very inspiring in how they also do their process of writing. And I also got to realize how even then, or even at that, people have different styles and techniques and things they like to do before songwriting, and how they do their songwriting. Sometimes lyric first, sometimes music first, sometimes just the chords, sometimes it's all together if they're a genius. And so, I mean, it's fascinating to me, and definitely I felt so much pressure putting out this EP just because it was my very first time. But I'm just also very grateful for everyone's reception of this body of work, and I'm just so excited to just move forward also and just continue to make more music.
I think you should be very proud, Morissette. It's very
Thank you.
It was a very impressive project. Have you heard from Michael, by the way, when you his thoughts on your EP? Michael Bolton.
Sorry? I haven't. No, I haven't. But I have heard from Ben Adams of A1. He retweeted one of my posts of my signature EP, and he's just been very supportive ever since I was able to work with him also on the Christmas song that we did together. And now he also has his family, his baby, and his wife, which I also got to meet when he was here in the Philippines. Wow. It was so nice just being able to just also have these legends just be very, very supportive.
It must be mental though, isn't it? Bloody hell. It's like, you know, when you said, just
you know, as you do.
Just Michael to recommend. It's like, what the fuck? What do you mean? It's crazy. It's amazing.
I'm grateful. I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled that there are those people also that, of course, they're intimidating, of course. But I mean, they're just also very, very they're also humans and just very genuine people. And I'm just glad to also be in touch with a couple of them still.
Awesome. That's fantastic. Listen, I think as the whole of Signature as an EP, it was really exciting to listen to it, because knowing that this was like perhaps the first time we ever got to meet you from the inside. It was like it was like a taste of your own thought process and like what you personally are like. So it felt very open, it felt very honest, and I think that definitely struck a chord with whoever was listening to it, whether they're your fans or not. I think there's something paramount to honesty that comes with songwriting, and I think you did a fantastic job at like really translating your honest thoughts and real feelings into music. And it's hard to do that in a pop track, you know, like it's hard to do that with like without sounding like, I don't know, like
it's hard to,
cheesy.
it's hard to do that.
Yeah.
It's hard to do that when you have like half of the world expecting this
something
to be
from
like, you know. So again, I always say this because I don't want to turn this into a compliment shower, but I think you should be it was very impressive. I think you should be very proud of it. But now it's time to do it live, right? You have a concert coming up in January. Let's talk about a little bit about that. What's that experience like setting up for this?
What are the preparations like right now?
I am so excited just because I think this is of course, besides all the small live performances that I was able to do in some events, pre-recorded stuff and recordings, I think this is the very first time with this concert that I was able to get back to the feeling of like an actual show.
Nice.
Because of course, with 2 years of the pandemic, there are no live shows here. I mean, right now it's November and I've yet to be able to I've yet to perform for people live again next year when I'm going to be in the States. But like, this is the closest thing that like is a concert experience for me, even though it's just digital. I'm very, very excited because I feel like first of all, I like to say it's not the usual digital concert. I'm able to work with some of the most creative people also in the industry to make it interesting. And this is also my first time co-producing a show. And so that's why I'm also just very invested in this thing. I'm very invested in this project and just helping everyone out, being very hands-on. It's definitely a challenge just having to wear different hats for this thing. But I mean, I have a great team behind me. Everyone's working so hard and we're just so excited for everyone to see it. It's in January already, and I mean also it's I couldn't miss out on this opportunity to just celebrate just a decade on with my career also. And so I'm excited for everyone to just go back memory lane with me, hear me sing some songs that they've missed me sing and they haven't really heard me sing for quite a long time. I personally had like a blast, just all those emotions and memories come back to me when those songs were just playing. But I mean, there's just so much to share, but I can't yet because I want everyone to just watch it. Listen, I'm very, very excited.
Oh, it's super exciting because it's like you said, it's a full circle moment. There's a whole synergy with this new project, and having it, you know, completely go into a full on out show. Oh, yes. I feel the jitters for you. I'm so excited.
I'm very excited. We're even kind of planning. I mean, this is just between us, but I'm also very, very excited because we're looking into also doing this in the like a live concert setting. Because of course it may be great just watching it from at home on the TVs and just tablets and screen, but I mean you can't compare it to the live concert experience.
I totally agree.
I'm excited to finally just do that and sing these songs, especially my originals also, and just sing these songs for everyone and just have that energy of having people there.
I think something really cool that has happened there in the Philippines, being able to kind of see this year play out in the online, what would you call it, online concert scene
development. Yes, like a completely new thing.
I think to some extent it helps you because obviously in January, hopefully things should be better just worldwide too. But I think it does help in the sense that it makes it accessible for the whole world, right? I guess that's the only downside of live in concerts, that you have to go to the venue. But you know, with your concert, it gives that opportunity. But something that I've been noticing in the Philippines,
very global about it. It's exciting.
But something that I've been noticing in the Philippines is that because of this couple of years of difficulty in live scene, the production in online concerts has gone up like this. Like it's mental. We've seen a couple. We've had the awesome privilege to see a couple of artists from the Philippines, like Jada and
SB19.
It's been really good to see how different you can make an online concert, and it's
and
obviously
how real it could also feel too, like from the live music side of things, because there's always that fear that because it's an online concert you will somewhat take away from the live music experience of it. But it has definitely not been the case with any of the online concerts from the Philippines.
It feels different. It kind of focuses on I guess igniting different emotions and focusing on different things that you can do better through a screen. So it's exciting to see kind of how it all comes together in January.
Yes, indeed. I think one thing I can also say, especially with of course this show, Pheonix, is that we really made this show for now. We really made it show fit for the medium, which is something that people can really just enjoy at home. Okay. And so that's something that I just want everyone to experience as well, just because like all the amazing cinematic things that people are also gonna see, just the I mean, it's kind of like safe to say like a film in some way, but at the same time it's still a concert experience that you can just enjoy at home, maybe play at home while everyone's busy, but the music's still there and everything. But I guess that was one of the things that we were kind of like at the back of our heads for this concert, at least. Like we curated it really for the medium so that people can enjoy it at home, and then when we're given the chance, just bring it to the live shows and just play it out there and just with everyone.
Listen,
can you read the comments when you're doing an online concert?
I think for this one, because we shot it, we needed to shoot it because next in January I'm going to be in the States, and I'm also going to be doing a couple of shows during those weekends. But we did shoot it. But there is going to be a meet and greet for all the VIP ticket holders. So it's going to be different time zones. It might be because the show here in the Philippines at least is January 23 and 24 evening and then morning. I think in the States that's a whole different time zone. So so my I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna see everyone there.
That's right. And I think those details actually make a whole lot of difference when it comes to integrating the fans into the whole experience, the being part of the making of, basically, or like having a sneak peek of what it's like to be behind the scenes and this stuff. And I think props to your crew and your management and your brilliant brain for coming up with those details.
Dave Lamar deserves a lot of credit too. He's truly a special mind, that guy.
It's fantastic
Thank
work.
You.
Special
so
mind.
Much.
What are the meets and when you do concerts like normally, perhaps not online? What are the meets and greets like? Because I've never been to one of anyone actually. But what are they like?
I think at least in the States, or just not in the Philippines, we usually do meet and greets after a show. It's just so usually for VIP or VVIP, those certain people or those certain ticket holders, we just meet them after the show, and it's
you shake hands, you talk a bit.
Talk a bit, a quick photo op, catch up, and then to the next batch. And they usually do it by batches, just to save time, because I mean there's also a lot of people, and there's a limit to every venue we're at. So we have to kind of do it at a little swift, a little quick. But I mean, it's just also nice to be able to meet everyone. That's why I'm also very excited for my States tour, because I'll be able to meet like a lot of other actors as well who's gonna be there in person. That's why I'm so excited to just also get back on the road and on the plane and just travel and see people who I've only really been able to connect online, and now finally face to face we'll be able to meet and just also personally thank everyone for just everything they've helped out in my music and my content as well.
I hope you get to meet the lovely ladies from Bubs and Dough, because they bloody
awesome.
Adore you, those two.
I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I
I would
thought
love to.
something fun to do, Maury. I thought was given the fact that this is all a sort of full circle moment,
a celebratory like situation.
I wanted to ask you, what is from the past, and then we'll talk about the present in a second. But from the past, what has been your favorite performance or song that you kind of? It could be a cover, it could be a special moment. Hopefully, something we can find on YouTube, and then we can react together right now to it.
Okay.
And then we'll talk about the present, maybe your favorite song from Signature or something like that. And
your favorite body of work, like your favorite video from the first moment, or something that really struck a chord with you.
Okay. So past first.
Yes, go on. Past first.
Past first. One of my most unforgettable. Ooh. Maybe not favorite, but unforgettable, definitely. Performances of mine was, I'm not sure if you guys know the song Akin Ka Na Lang.
Akin Ka Na Lang, of course.
Yes. So it was my very first, let's just say, original song that I was able to interpret. It was part of a songwriting competition here in the Philippines, and it was coming out from The Voice of the Philippines. This was one of my very first songs and just projects. So that song just really has a special place in my heart. And so back in 2018, when I had my Made concert, and I was touring it. We did it in my hometown in Cebu.
Yeah.
In Cebu. And I sang Akin Ka Na Lang. And I just remember how, because there's just so much pressure doing things in your hometown. and especially especially in Cebu, people, I mean, like, it's like everyone in my province in Cebu can sing perfectly or amazingly, so it's just so much more pressure.
Is the dialect Visayan then? Is that?
Yes, Visaya.
It's like literally, I like Cebu has like some of the coolest singers right now in the industry. Like it really does, and it must be intimidating to go back and sing to them. It must be crazy.
It is. Like, I feel like everyone's a judge in a competition. Like, I was brought back to my singing competition days. And so just being able to perform that song in my Made concert, Cebu Leg, and Cebu, is just something very, very unforgettable and meaningful to me, because it was just like, and everyone just singing the song with me. Wow. And I think if I remember correctly, when the chorus came, I was just very brave to just put the mic out and maybe let people sing, and everyone was singing. I was just crying because I was overwhelmed with just how everyone was singing that song, and just how, I mean, just that magic of people singing that very special song of yours. Yeah. And so definitely that's like one of my top, like, unforgettable and, well, okay, maybe favorite performances of all time. I said it wasn't a favorite, but now that I'm going back to it, it's like, yeah, I would probably do that again also. And just, I mean, it's something that I would relive probably over and over, just because it's a very priceless experience and memory.
Hopefully, and actually, I'm sure it's gonna happen again with some of your newer songs as well. That would be unbelievable to hear that.
Yes, please. I'm excited.
Tell us about the present then. Like, what in the recent years has been perhaps your favorite music video that you've made, or the favorite performance, or something that's really like, yeah, this is a brand new era of me.
Yeah, or it could be from Signature. Who knows?
Okay, definitely it's, I mean, just for the past year, I've only really worked on my music, so it's definitely from there. I think one of my, I mean, there's a lot. I think that's also one of the things I really enjoyed in the past couple of years working on Signature, just because working on every song and just shooting every music video has been, and just doing the live performances and doing it with a band and even just with an instrumental track, every single one of those moments have just been very, I guess it hits different to me just because they're originals. So I think one that really stands out to me right now, I mean, there's two. Can I do two? Can I just do two? I can't choose one. Two. Okay, so I think one would be when we were doing the music video of Love You Still.
Oh, nice.
Just because of course it was the very first music video that came out from
It was
signature full EP, thank you, with my red hair and everything.
Beautiful.
But I guess just how everything during that shoot just happened so perfectly. And so just to quickly share, when we went over to that location, it was actually a beach house of a good friend of ours. When we were there for an ocular, how he was telling us how the water was so nice and everything. A typhoon had just hit here in Manila.
Oh.
Yeah.
But we still went through with that ocular, and so as expected, the water wasn't so clean. But we were able to see the vicinity and just the location, and we agreed that it was the closest thing that we really wanted for the video. And so fast forward to, there was another storm that hit during that time, and then fast forward to the actual shoot of the music video and how everything just turned out so perfect. The weather was amazing. The colors of the sky was blasting. And even when we woke up at like 5 a.m. even 3 a.m. every morning, because we wanted to start as early as we could for the 2-day shoot. We'd wake up at 3 a.m., start shooting at 5:30, and just how everything was just so calm, and the water was so clear, and how and there was that scene with the mountains and how that fog just was there beautifully, and I think even just an eagle was flying over, and we tried to catch that on video as well. So I guess just the whole experience, we just felt like it was very what's the term? A very blessed shoot. Like God really made it so perfect, very favored. It was a very favored shoot of a music video. And so like and we're gonna be celebrating the anniversary of Love You Still very, very soon, like in a couple of weeks, for the release. And so I mean, it's just the 1 year since Love You Still has been out. It's just been very, very like close to my heart. Of course, it's my very first original.
Before you tell us the other one, let's I'd actually love to hear your thoughts, and kind of hear. I think a lot of people would also be really interested to see you react to your own video and see perhaps what your opinions of the final product and everything is. Because we've had a look at this on the channel, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. I mean, again, Maury, yes, I've said you're charming, but it's like you're consumed by your. It's hard to describe, but it's like you truly feel what you say, and it's like the way you describe the music video.
Feels as magical as
it's
it
as if you're writing a book. You're really intriguing in that sense.
It's beautiful overall. I think before we started, it was just such a beautiful cinematic composition of visual elements, and I think Dave really like he made it happen. The angles,
he's a special guy, dude.
The editing, oh my god, it was absolutely fantastic.
Let's give it a watch. Can you tell us if you can hear it? Or do you want to make a figure?
Yes. Wow. Okay. I didn't know you could do that on Zoom.
But there you go.
Me neither. Don't give us any credit for it. It's all no idea how we figured that out. Go on. Let us know if you can hear it.
Yes, absolutely. I think I can.
Stunning. Oh, look at that.
There. This was one of the scenes we shot at 5:30 in the morning during the second day. Yes. That's why it's just very like dawn, low tide.
Absolutely beautiful.
And even when we were there for the ocular, because we did our ocular was overnight. Right. Our friend was telling us that it would be low tide just exactly like this, but when we were there for the ocular, it wasn't low tide at all. Right. And so this really was just like something magical that happened on that day. And then that's all of that, all the magic and stuff. And then all this production design that we just decided to do in the middle of the beach.
Yeah. That looked really good though. It looked like you made a little tent or something.
Oh, thank you. This one.
Yeah, let's talk about the styling and the and the makeup and
see all my buttons, see all my magic buttons.
Because for the whole video, I think the styling and the makeup and the choices for hair and everything were so very subtly staple to everything. You know, it was a really cool composition of magic and mystery. Did you come up with all the ideas for it as well, or was it like part of your team that chose what
I think it
to
was really a collaboration between just different people from my team, like from my stylist John Lozano to my director Jason Max, and just of course me, what I felt was comfortable to wear in a beach. And so I guess we just didn't want to go for, especially because it's a beach scene, we didn't, or a location of a beach, we didn't want it to be the typical white, easy flowing white dress, or like how everyone does it, or maybe a swimsuit. Because no, not definitely not. but I guess it was something. I guess we just wanted to get that vibe of definitely something like mysterious and maybe covered first. That's why there's the
veil,
how do you call it, like a shawl,
like
a shawl veil, first, like a veil during the first parts of the music video, and then later on we'll have scenes of just trying to let it go, maybe like spreading the wings, spreading my wings, and just feeling more open and free and not being very like trapped, I guess. Yeah. So even at that was like a genius idea for my stylist. Like, let's start with something covered, and then but not too covered that I'll have a hard time removing it. But then like just all those little symbolisms, I guess. I really like symbolisms. And so, and even the black, I guess, other than it's sexier to look at, I guess. But it wasn't just, I mean, I didn't want it to be like the typical white, just because the song isn't really a happy song.
That's right.
And so I wanted it to kind of feel like there's like that. Like,
yeah, dude, the lyrics of this song are kind of rough, dude. They're kind of sad. They hit proper. So yes, perhaps black was the most
it was like I don't know. Maybe I'm overrating it, but it was like a little bit, when I first saw it, it was like mourning a part of you that loved something very dearly. So it's like that moving out process needed some, like if I was seeing it, like it was like a bit of mourning, like a bit of a self-reflective at the situation, and then kind of moving forward from that. And I think that letting go of the veil, that open sky setting right at the end.
And the sky looks so cool because it looks mysterious, proper, yeah.
And I think it all came together really well in the video without knowing anything from like the original intent.
The backstory.
I think it was really easy to read through that self-reflective, mourning, easy period in the beginning. It was like heavy and hard, heavy-hearted. And then kind of like a progression of letting go and easing into that journey. Fantastic.
I mean, I'm not sure if there have been like some of my supporters that have shared, but I really wrote this song about my family, just because I'm not really in a good situation with them right now. Just how we're on different pages of things, and me just deciding to be on my own right now, and just the choices I make that they don't really agree to. Basically, it's a long story also, but I really wrote this song for my family. And so just you being able to kind of share that was what you saw, that was really how I felt in the past couple of years with my situation with my family. And so it was really just that how it was so hard at first, but now, and especially right now, I've kind of learned to just have peace with it and just letting it go and letting God do the work, because I've already tried, and I just really believe right now that there are things that we really can't control. That's why I'm just letting it go and hopefully if they do hear the song, I also really wrote this for them also, or just what I feel about this situation I am in with them, that despite everything, that I still love them. That's really what the song is. And so I'm glad that there has been that kind of like emotion that people have been able to also kind of get from whether it's from the music or whether it's from the music video. I'm glad that we were kind of able to ultimately we were able to portray the emotion of where we were coming from with the song.
Thank you for being so brave and putting yourself in such a vulnerable position to write something
through art.
That is,
I mean, bloody hell, yeah.
Because there's nothing more. I know I've spoken to this before about this before with plenty of other songwriters, but it takes it takes bravery, it takes putting yourself in a very vulnerable emotional state,
and it's out there for the world to see. It's a bizarre concept. It's a
thank you for that, because it's a reminder that art prevails. You know.
Yes. Well, I mean, sorry, just to add, if there's one thing I did learn from my mentors and musicians and artists, co-artists from songwriting, just because this is my very first song at that time, when I had the mindset of trying to write a song, that was the situation I was in. And so I guess it just felt kind of like flowing when I was putting the words out and just collaborating with Dave, just writing the song, because that was really my situation at the time, writing the song, just how I was really feeling. And so I think if I'm not mistaken, we finished the song maybe a couple days, on different days, not in one setting, definitely, but in different days, just because in that season, that was really what I was feeling. And so that's why I guess this was really something that it took a lot of courage to put out, but I just really wanted to be honest, and just maybe people are also able to relate to the situation, and hopefully this is a song that could also be like healing for them one way or another, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's a great point. I think, you know, it must have been emotionally taxing to continuously try to poke at the scar, you know, at the wound, just to get something creatively out of it. What is, you know, now that we're here, just
it's okay.
Now that we're here, we'll catch up on the video in a sec.
It's okay.
What has been the most valuable piece of advice for songwriting in your process so far?
That maybe you've received.
Ooh, the most valuable. I think one thing I've learned with not just songwriting, but just the production process. Because in the past decade, and I've only really just learned this during the pandemic and just working on the signature EP, is how it really takes time. It really takes time for things to happen. Because before, as just a singer, songs would be given to me that they're already finished, and then they mix my voice and whatever, master, and then it's done.
And then
but now and then just seeing this whole process, it really took a lot of patience for me. And I even remember the very first time our good friend and producer Sergio Ramos, he gave us the very first draft of, I think, the mix of Love You Still, and I remember being kind of frustrated and just like, why is it not sounding the way we're envisioning it in our head? And so Dave was very patient also with me and just telling me, babe, just remember, this is still the first draft, okay? And this is something that I really just saw and learned in the past couple of years. If it weren't for this experience of really getting into just the production side of things, I would just be like I wouldn't really know, or I wouldn't be informed. And so it was very humbling. It was very humbling for me to just see everything as it really is, and that like with everything takes time. If you really want it to be great, it really takes time and just a lot of hard work to get to the main goal and stuff.
Develops a different sense of maturity when it comes to art too, because it makes you, I guess, understand that there is really no alternative to time, and it just comes with it, I guess.
That's right.
Yeah, and it's really a process. It's not overnight. It's not over. Even me in the 10 years, like people who have seen me probably just in the past couple of years don't know where I have been in the past like 8 years before then, or the past decade. Like I even remember my early years in the career wasn't easy at all. I had no gigs. I had to constantly just try to just like prove myself in a way, and just do different things just to put myself out there. And these are things people don't see, but see, like we've talked about, it's 10 years in the making also. And so that's why right now, just having to celebrate a decade, I'm very proud to say that it's 10 years in the making, because there's really just so much that happened that people don't also see, or people didn't get to see, or didn't see any in the past years. So yeah, that's that.
You know, it's really funny concept to me that because someone is a public figure, or you're seeing it's like time traveling in a sense when you see an artist. Because for example, I could see your work from six years ago.
That's right.
But so I'm traveling back 6 years, but my judgment of you would be on who I know today. But in reality, 6 years ago, you were someone different. You were someone who
in a different period in your life, in a different mindset.
So it's a funny idea that
surrounded by different people, that changes a lot about yourself.
It's such a weird concept then that and this is something, I guess, the main issue I have with this whole idea of fame and, you know, public figure and this whole idea of notoriety because it's like
you're not yourself anymore. It's like you're public property.
Yeah, I guess when you know, or you know, as a fan, when you look at someone who's, you know, famous or something like that, it's like you don't truly know much, because it's this illusion of it could be 3 years ago the work you saw, and that represents them 3 years ago. So they've encapsulated that version of them then, but now there's someone different, and people always judge. Not judge, I don't mean in a bad way. If not like, you know, judgment of character, as you are as a person. But in reality, it's like they're seeing an older or a current or a future version. It's really odd concept. Makes my head hurt. Still makes not much sense.
Especially with this era of the internet. Like, you know, you can see footage from years ago and will still be as valuable as present and you know, videos that were shot 6 years ago are going viral now. So it's a really weird untangible, like there's really no way of feeling these things.
Dude, I think someone sent us a video of you when you were like 16 singing in like a birthday party or something like that.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
And I was like, I wonder if
what?
Morissette doesn't even know that this video exists. You know, and it's like so great.
It's out there.
Exactly. It's I think you being involved in the whole making process and the you know, from birth of the project, I think
gives a more accurate depiction of you now, which I think is certainly beneficial.
There's a whole new maturity, and it also adds so much value for you. And I think that's the reason why these videos and this body of work, signature EP, and taking it into concert means so much to you.
And to us as fans as well, I gotta say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. I mean, we've already discussed it, how it really took a lot, and you guys know it took a lot. It takes a lot to be where they want to be, just to reach their goals. It takes a lot.
Yeah.
And so I guess just to put it out there, people just really need to be maybe a little more understanding of people's situations, because they go through a lot. They sacrifice a lot. They have their highs, people see that, and then they have their lows that people don't really see, and sometimes they don't even consider it. And so I guess it just takes people. I think people being in the just the internet and everything, people just need to be more compassionate and just be more mindful that sometimes that's not really the full picture of what someone is going through. So yeah.
I have an opinion when people, you know, those like the comments and the trolls and all that stuff, I just say fuck them, doesn't matter. But I understand, like I understand the perspective where you're coming from, where certainly because it may not be like they're coming with harm, but they simply don't understand the behind the picture. You know what I mean?
Is that whole idea of like dehumanizing the image that they see on a screen? There's like a completely detaching the human aspect of life. It's like you become this spectacle, this thing that they can hold you for, but then
you're a real person.
Exactly, like you have real emotions like everybody else.
I know. Yeah, that's why, like, even me when I'm doing just my random Facebook live streams, like I'm just as honest and as genuine as I can be, because like that's really who I am, and like this is who I am. Right? And it's tiring if you're pretending. It's also very tiring if you just pretend and you don't, and then you can't really keep up with that, because that's not the real you.
I think it takes away from enjoying the experience. Like you want to be seen as for who you are, not for something that people have made up you to be, you know? It's really cool. I honestly, it's really cool overall.
Let's return to the video. I'm really interested.
Yes.
I love hearing your commentary as well.
Thank you.
It adds a lot of value to the whole experience.
Thank you. Oh, I have a trivia about this lighthouse scene. So this is colored differently, but when we really shot this, it was at noontime. It was super dark and super exposed. So the sun was out. Definitely not like this on the actual day.
So this is
the actual
post editing.
Yeah.
So this is
this is post editing and color. Yeah, but I'm glad it kind of turned out like that. Kind of like gloomy, but with the lighthouse just
Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Yes.
it adds to that mystery value that we were seeing right at the beginning.
Yes.
You know that. So it was really cool to see it carry through. You know, the whole video.
Yes. This scene of the glass.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah, the glass. I guess it's funny how people have different interpretations of it, but I was asking my director, I was asking Jason Max what he was thinking or what he was.
Sorry, Maury.
Yes. Sorry.
It's okay.
I unplugged the aux cord from the headphones. Apologies.
Oh no.
So you were saying that your director, you were asking Max.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I was asking Max about what his concept was with the glass.
Yeah.
And because I was seeing different comments of how people were interpreting it.
Mm-hmm.
And when I told him how like there were people who thought that I felt like I was someone in a like glass bottle and just feeling like trapped in everything, and then just and then the mist on the glass. And then I was asking him, was this really your intent of this like this layout of the video? He said, no, I just think it's aesthetically nice. And so it's nice how it looks nice. And so it's just nice how it's interesting and cool how people have different interpretations to all these even just aesthetic parts of the video.
It's nice that everything fits together though. That's all I can tell.
I know.
Like
it all worked out.
Yeah, unintentionally worked out.
Unintentionally perfect.
Perfectly.
Yes. Oh, thank you. So yeah.
Beautiful work of the silhouettes. I think that adds so much value to it.
Thank you. Low tide.
Is it warm, that water?
Yeah, it was just right. It was just right. Morning, lukewarm water.
Oh, my God, I want to be there. God.
I don't know.
So cold out here.
And then that's
gorgeous.
Turn it up. I love that drop.
And just playing with the shawl. Yeah, we just shot at 2 different locations for this, really.
Oh wow.
So, and this scene actually with the veil, where I'm under the veil, that just happened by accident. Because Dave was the one who was shooting this particular music video, and so I was just playing with the veil and just whipping it in front of the camera, and he goes, "Oh, babe, you should try going inside the camera because it forms like nice patterns on your face." So it just really happened in the moment. It wasn't really anything that was storyboarded. I think this whole music video, to really put it bluntly or just like straightforward, is that how this music video, Love You Still, there was really no storyboard.
That's
it was just a matter of putting things there that just different concepts and then maybe making it work. So
I think so it was an organic film
like
setting.
A blank canvas
like,
and painting and
yes.
That was really interesting though, because usually for when you do music videos that are like at this level of production, there must be there has to be often the storyboard, the setting, the pre-recording thinking of like, where's it gonna be, how are we gonna shoot it, especially given the fact that you're doing exteriors. There are so many things that can go wrong, more than can go right. So
exactly,
it
the
really
fact that it came together, that's nuts. To this level.
It adds to your commentary about being a blessed film recording session, because it really like working in exteriors. It's it's such a fiddle thing. It's a fickle little thing to do.
Yes, exactly. And I think something also to add, just like with the storyboard and not having a storyboard for this music video, and even with working on the production of, especially with Love You Still, working with Jason Max, our creative director and director, and Sergio Ramos, who is our producer. One of me and Dave and Miguel, who's Underdog Music, one of our goals really was to allow for these artists and people to just be as creative as they can be. That's why, I mean, we had certain pegs in our heads, but we wanted to hear how they interpreted the song first before putting in our own little input to kind of make everything just cohesive as well. And so I'm really just glad that everything came together the way it is, and how it looks nice.
It does.
It looks nice.
It's very nice.
Thank you. So like, and then there's that, and even those plants there in that scene, those aren't real plants, you just put it there. Just thought it'd be we just thought it'd be cool to have like foreground of leaves and stuff, and so it's there. And then this was my favorite part of the shoot, just swimming in a gown. Just because I thought it'd be cool to swim in a very heavy lace dress.
Usually I would recommend less attire when swimming, but it seems swimming with a dress, fine.
Aesthetically perfect.
I know. Actually, I have a backstory about this scene. Sorry, I have so many backstories.
Do it. I love it. It adds so much value to the whole idea, because these are the moments that people don't ever get to hear. Yeah. You know, so go and dip as much as you like. Go ahead, it's fun.
Yes. I think with that swimming or in the water scene in the music video, because I actually had a music video from the past that was kind of and this, let's say, the same idea of kind of drowning, and I'm wearing this gown. Okay, so we were really able to shoot it, but long story short, we weren't really able to execute it as much, and so it wasn't really put out there. And so when there was this idea, or there was this thought that Mori should try to like maybe have this scene like she's drowning or floating or something, I actually got really excited. Like, it was a bucket list. It was a bucket list for me to do it, and so
redeem yourself from the past.
I know, and so we did. We drove like into a very kind of deep part of the ocean, because it's a diving site. That area is actually a diving site, and so we dove, and we even had a, how do you call it, like a scuba diver instructor who was with us, who would help us he would help me like go really far down, and then have that scene of just floating up, and just I'm having just to hold my breath for as long as I can. And so I definitely, that would be my favorite part from this music video, just having to swim in the heavy lace black gown.
Fantastic. That is just
it's certainly cinematic. It's really cool.
It would be my favorite part too, just because you get to swim in the ocean. That's like
and it was also getting very hot during this day, and so just being able to just
what a dream. What a dream. What a dream.
You're all right, mate. Stop rubbing it in, because here it's like 0 degrees.
I'm sorry. It's okay. Here it's pretty hot. It's so hot. It's annoying.
Listen, London is a dream in the winter, like for Christmas. It really is. It's like absolutely dreamland. But oh my God, I think because I'm Latina, I just need the heat. I just need the sun. Like, I was like, oh yeah, nice for Christmas.
I think I'm white now, dude. I think I'm turning into a vampire. Serious. I think I'm turning.
Oh my gosh.
London is great, but I would have Manila's heat any day.
Oh my God. You'll regret saying
No.
It's so hot.
I would love that.
It's so hot. It's so humid. It's so especially here in Manila. It's so humid. It's so hot.
How hot? Give me Celsius.
Okay, Celsius is sometimes we go to like 40s.
Take me.
Yeah, well,
Let's trade places for a bit. I need some cold here.
You're welcome here anytime. Whenever you want to come
I
to
would
London,
love
anytime.
to.
Listen.
I've only been there in London for a couple of times. Actually, this is a scratch it's a scratch map of all the countries that I've been to.
Right.
And I think when I was in London, what month was it? Maybe like July.
Oh, so
it's kind of hot, kind of.
pretty mild.
That was okay. I mean, it was chilly because it was. I was able to perform in this like kind of open air grass area. It was kind of like a festival.
Nice.
For Filipinos, and so it was really cold, and I was wearing these romper dress or like shorts, and I regretted it because it was already cold. It was already cold, at least for us, because here in the Philippines it doesn't really get cold at all.
That's our British summer. That's all you get.
Well,
how want gonna get?
No, you don't. No, you don't.
It's rainy and cold.
It's
all
good
year
for one
round.
summer, but then it gets old. After we went in. Because we grew up in South America, and South America is very similar. It's sort of humid, hot, and when we came to, I guess, Bali experienced summer first in Europe, in Italy.
Oh yeah,
but
it was beautiful. Rome in summer, absolutely stunning.
But in London, it's cold. Like if you come from a country like the Philippines or anywhere in South America.
Yeah.
But then,
it's pretty chilly.
The longer you live in the UK, the hotter it feels during July.
Oh yeah.
Like 17 degrees feels like woof.
But you're like,
really?
The heat.
Yeah.
We died for just that. 17, please.
No, you
so hot here.
You would regret saying that. Believe me, you would.
I'll be more than happy to show you around, and then you can make your complaints.
I will judge.
Love that shot, the little tent thing. I love that one.
Thank you.
That's beautiful.
That one.
Yeah.
That scene where I was in the water just floating and just pointing up the camera. Dave was so scared because he was so scared that he might get into he might slip or something and might drop the camera into the water. He was so scared.
Was that smoke? You had like a smoke going on?
Yes, we had just like a was it called?
Haze.
Yeah, haze. Yeah, we had a small haze machine.
Fantastic editing. That's beautiful. It just adds so much value to the song.
Thank you so much. Even when we were doing online edit for this, just choosing the shots, it took us a while because there were some let's say angles that wasn't very flattering, and so we had to get on a Zoom with the editor and just really go through the whole video with him and choosing the shots that we think would also be like kind of better, also, I guess. And so that also took a while.
Process,
yeah.
I know.
Who's your
something
editor?
that we need to learn. Sorry.
Who was your video editor?
I think for this one, his name is Ram. He's a friend of Jason Max. It's basically his team. It's basically his team working on the video, and even the colorist was also a friend of Max, who's also now our friend as well. But yeah, I love working with Jason Max and his team. Everyone's just so passionate. Everyone's so creative, and I love how, because when we were doing this music video, we were only really like 7 people. It was me, it was Dave, it was Jason Max, who was our director. Dave was the cinematographer. His name is Jonathan. He's our production design. My makeup artist, Miko.
I love him. His work is absolutely fantastic. I adore him.
Love him. Right? Miko. And then my stylist, his name is my assistant stylist, or John's assistant stylist, his name is Kendall. And then there's Miguel. So there's really and then our producer, who's just everyone who kept us on time and everything. JD. So there's probably like 8 to 10 people just doing the shoot.
Pretty small crew. That's pretty tight.
Super small. And this was in the middle of the pandemic. And so that's why we really needed to keep it like a tight, like just a number of people, because we didn't want to just have that risk of having too many people. Well,
props to them. I think maybe if they do get a chance to watch this, absolutely props to all of you and all of them. They deserve a lot of credit, and probably all the credit that they get, to be fair.
Yeah, just look at this shot. Just look at that. That's absolutely fantastic.
Take a picture. It's lovely.
Is the background halo with the really visible foreground? It is so cinematically perfect. I love that.
Is it weird that you're kind of looking at yourself and you find it weird? Because a lot of artists do.
That was actually one of my most favorite scenes also out of the whole music. Yeah, that one. Just because like, I mean, just look at that.
It's absolutely stunning.
I love the sky. Oh, there's actually also something that happened during the scene while we were shooting it. So we were in what do you call it? Like a wave breaker. So this beach house had a wave breaker. And so we were in the corner. We were there shooting. It was me. And then there was Dave on camera and director Max was there. And I think our producer who was helping us out with just like the lighting and stuff.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, like we were shooting that scene. And then suddenly there was this wave that crashed into the wave breaker. And if our friend JB wasn't there with the reflector, the camera would have gotten wet.
Ooh.
So yeah. So I'm not sure if you guys have seen the behind the scenes of this this music video shoot. There's also behind the scenes on my channel. Okay. But there was that scene where we were emoting. I was serious, and then suddenly there was a wave. And then we cut it, it was like, well, oh no! Good thing there was a reflector over there.
Oh my God! Thank God for that, Jesus! Can you imagine?
I know. I must say, Dave must have been bloody stressed shooting this because water and cameras they just don't get along.
No. No, and we always joke. Dave has a very expensive lifestyle. just being a videographer, an editor also, and just someone who's a sound engineer as well. So it's not just camera stuff. There's also audio stuff, and everything's just so expensive.
I think it comes with the realm of work though. Like it's like the necessary expenses. Like
but it's ridiculous how much a camera that you guys are using to shoot costs.
I know.
Yeah,
I know. Thank you. Sorry. I forgot to charge my laptop. Can I just get my charger? Sorry. 1 minute. I'll just get it real quick. Sorry.
No stress. Wait.
I have to do this myself. I'm so sorry. I'll be right back after these messages. So this is also one of the things that happens during the pandemic. We have to do things by ourselves.
Absolutely.
You know, can you hear us?
Oh my gosh.
Not yet.
All right.
Can you hear us?
Yes, I do. I just need to plug my. I just realized I wasn't plugged in.
It's okay.
Sorry.
Good thing you noticed now, though.
I know. I would have disappeared. All right, I think I'm good. Ding. All right.
There we go.
It's a good.
Yeah, I heard the little
We're in the
thing.
clear.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
That's
all right.
Oh yeah, lots of rings.
Yes. Yeah, it's really just a play of different things that we come up with during the moment.
Yeah.
But it's exactly what you guys said. Like, because it's an outdoor location, like it's so hard if suddenly we were so strict about how we wanted it to appear or just the things we wanted to do. Even that one, that wasn't planned. We just saw how, wow, they're so nice how there's like smoke or like haze coming from the mountain. Yes. Use it also. Just utilized it.
I thought the haze was post-production until you mentioned it. I actually thought it was post-edit. I was like, yeah, it just seems so natural to have haze out of nowhere. I was like, yeah, definitely.
That really happened.
Cool. Yeah, that's
so
awesome.
Crazy.
Yeah. You are definitely then more of like a countryside jungle type of girl rather than a city girl. Or are you
it depends on the mood. I'm both.
Well, sometimes I like have a bunch of plants in your house. I don't know.
Yeah, but sometimes also like because Dave's family is also from the province, and we take maybe 2 to 3 hours going to their place. Right. Sometimes being in the province for so long, for me at least, like it bores me sometimes.
Yeah, it feels isolated. Yeah.
Yeah, and so, but also sometimes being here in the city for like maybe a whole month without getting out is also sad. So I guess it just depends on the mood.
Right.
It's just finding that balance that we were talking about earlier. You know, it's that balance about where do you find yourself to be, where you need to be. I think
mate. I can't handle the countryside, city all day.
Right, it's different.
It's different.
The beach, but the countryside, maybe not.
I go through moods. I actually think I need it.
But Vale's a little bit more like you. She likes she I guess you fluctuate.
Oh yeah, I do. It just comes and goes with the creative part of things, you know, like sometimes you need a little bit of like a break from life.
Especially during the pandemic with people being locked in with like just houses, and even here in Metro Manila, there's so many people that have just been in their condos for like 6 months straight. And it's honestly, it's very depressing just being in the same area for like 6 months, or just not having to go out, see daylight, just be exposed to sun. It's very sad.
Yeah, sometimes you just need to go out and touch some grass. Just know
it's there. I know. That's why I'm just so happy that finally here in Manila, like it's finally loosening up.
It's a blessing, though. It really is a blessing. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to. I was very worried for you guys. I was like, I wonder when.
It's so it got very stressful. And even I'm not sure if you guys ever heard of like the face shield situation here in the Philippines.
I saw it a lot in that show.
TV, like
ASAP. I saw it a lot. There, everyone always had ASAP natin to. Everyone's had the thing. But
and it's so hard. It really doesn't do anything. That's why like everyone was just so relieved when finally the government just announced this law of finally how face shields were not required anymore. And it was so funny just having to see on my feed all my different friends creating TikTok videos of them throwing their face shields away, just saying goodbye. Don't need you no more.
Good. I hope it continues to become more open.
Worth the celebration, that's for sure.
I know.
Because I thought that was underwater. I didn't think it was a mirror.
I thought it was a glass.
I thought it was underwater.
Them vocals, so cool.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, and even the eagle that flew by. It was on that scene where I was looking up. Yes. It's so random how there was just that eagle flying by.
You know, in nice, this shot, was it sunset or was it sunrise?
This is sunset. Okay. This is sunset. So yeah, all the way through the end, it's all sunset. Just embracing the sun.
And that's one shot and a half, mate.
Did you guys take the whole of the filming in one day, or did it take several?
You said two, right?
So 2 days.
2 days. 2 days, 2 consecutive days, having to wake up at 3 a.m. in the morning to do hair and makeup and everything. Start shooting at 5, but we usually finish during the first day. We finished around maybe 7 p.m. That was a whole day straight work. And then the second day, everyone rested after 7 p.m. Everyone woke up at 3, or at least me and my makeup artist woke up at 3 to do makeup, started shooting at 5, and then finished maybe like 4 p.m. And that was done.
That's actually that's a pretty reasonable days of work. I like that.
Intense, fairly intense, but I guess intense, but 2 days, I guess, go by fast. So
absolutely, especially when you're so busy with the whole atmosphere of things. I think it must be so inspiring when you don't have a storyboard or anything like that. You're letting yourself be led by the environment. It must be really inspiring and really like stimulating as well. I think, and you can tell that at the end of the day, the finished product was such a magical composition of elements. And so I think
you're happy with it.
Now that you've spoken about everything that happened, I think it's pretty obvious why it's so,
but given the emotional attachment to everything, and how taxing it was to write as well, you are kind of very happy, it seems, with the final project, and you feel kind of relieved that everyone also received it lovely, which
well, just because of course everyone worked so hard on this. It was everyone's first time. And I guess also just the experience of going back to kind of work during the pandemic, doing a shoot again, just everyone working again after being in condos and houses for so long, and then finally we're out there. I even remember after this, after our last sequence of during the second day, and our last shot was the water, and I remember everyone just went into the water and just swam just because we all just missed being outdoors again. Yeah. Super. And so that's why just even though it was a very intense 2 days of shooting this music video, Love You Still, we didn't feel like stress at all, just because we enjoyed everyone's company, and it was really just a very, very fun and very favored shoot, and everything just turned out really, really nice.
Well, there's I guess a couple of things that I'm intrigued about, and one of them that you mentioned earlier was with Signature was kind of also an insight into your musical influences and things like that. What music are you listening to at the moment, and what's kind of like maybe your favorite artist that you listen to all the time?
My gosh, I mean, I can't even mention one at the moment because I jumped from listening to, and this is just in a span of maybe a week. I changed so drastically from, let's say, gospel music. I like to listen to Maverick City. And then I jumped to Jessie J, and then I jumped to Justin Bieber. And then sometimes I jump to listening to different Broadway musicals, like maybe Wicked, Idina Menzel, and then Shoshana Bean, Cynthia Erivo. I love.
You're big on theater.
What's your favorite show now? Because listen, I did a little bit of musical theater here in London. I trained here in performing arts, so like it was like my thing. Like, let's talk about shows. What's your favorite show?
My favorite show. I mean, I've only really been into the musical theater scene just maybe in 20. I mean, I didn't start as a musical theater kid. But I was really a mainstream like kind of artist and singer. But when I flew over here to Manila, and my whole management, they're actually my managers, they're all actors. They all did musical theater, and they were the ones that really influenced me. Influenced me, and just doing theater. And so I remember my very first production was Camp Rock, and it wasn't very like the typical Broadway kind of. I guess, yeah, it's Disney, Camp Rock. And that was actually the very first time that I learned to take care of my voice, because I think I was 16 or I was 15 when I did the role of Demi Lovato of Camp Rock, which is Michi Torres. And I remember just every single rehearsal, I was singing my heart out, and it was just a rehearsal. And people would tell me, Maury, it's okay to calm down. It's okay to calm down, but this is just because this is just a rehearsal. Just relax. But I guess at that time I was very cocky, and so I just sang and sang. And I remember the opening show, I was already like, my voice was already at 50%, just because I was a kid. I was basically a kid who thought I could do everything. So at that time, I really realized to really take care of my voice, because I also found out I had nodules because of that. And so, it's all those little moments,
surgery, or did it?
Yeah, you went through surgery, or you didn't?
No, I didn't. It wasn't so bad that needed surgery. I just had to take just meds. Meds. That's like steroids and stuff.
It's
and just therapy.
Crazy. It's pretty crazy though, because I think those are the defining moments in somebody's career. Not because the understanding of abuse and use of the vocal set of muscles, because they're muscles at the end of the day. You can overexhaust them. You can teach them and train them mold them into whatever you wanted them to be. But if you've never been introduced to that whole vocal health awareness, then you go through life not knowing what the hell you have to do, and doing the wrong types of things. And I don't think it's cockiness, and I don't think it's like feeling proud about yourself. I think it's more about being a little ignorant about how to take care of yourself. And it's totally fine. And I think that's
like innocence as well, right? Because it just feels like your voice can go on for years, right?
And I think it's cool. I think it's cool to hear it from you that you've had a long career, 10 years, if not more, before a concrete, you've became a concrete artist. But it's important, I think, for anyone who's hearing out there who likes to sing, that the advice is to be careful, and not careful in the way that people might think, oh, it's just not singing every day. No, it's about knowing when and how. Yes. And I think it's it's really cool. I hope you're better now, though.
I am. Actually, yeah, I do. I've really learned just all those years of performing without a voice and having no choice, but to really just do those shows because it was a commitment to the people who bought tickets, a commitment to the people who really came and even sometimes flew just to watch you.
So business, right? At the end of the day.
Yes, and I hated the feeling, because I really went through it. I hated the feeling of performing and that it felt like a job already to me. Like it came to that point where I didn't really enjoy what I was doing, just because it felt like my voice wasn't at a top shape. I was having to sing every night. Of course, tend to just also take care of my family and just like pay the bills also, I guess. And so there was a lot of pressure, but at the same time, like I couldn't say no at that time. But it took so much, in my voice and in my confidence. And I hated just not being able to sing because I love it. And so it was really like a turning point for me, that if I really wanted to sing for as long as I can, I really have to take care of me, of my voice, of my health. And that's why, like right now, having to start a new decade, hopefully in my career, it's priority for me is what's gonna help me, and really longevity, because I mean, my songs are not easy. Even for me, I have a hard time. I give myself a hard time because these songs are so hard. But then I also don't have, like, sometimes if I take it too easy, I'm not satisfied. That's why I kind of like to break it. I just make it a little challenging, but at the end of the day, when I'm having to sing it over and over, I regret it because it's so hard. But then it's really longevity at this point. After 10 years, it's staying in the game and just being able to sing for as long as I can, because that's really my goal.
Absolutely. And I think it comes with the part of like the struggle part that you're just speaking about. It comes with the situation, right? Because when you're young, when you're starting, I mean, young is in like young in the starting period of your career, because you can be starting at 50, and that's young in the career process, right? So you really don't have a choice. You have to do things the way they're being set out. And I think it's without those moments, you wouldn't be where you are right now in your career, where you feel like you now have the opportunity to make the choices that are right for you.
Interestingly, Maury, you're not the first to say that theatre does seem to help in that manner, because I mean, theatre, it's certainly
structurized,
the most regimented form of art exposition that there is. There's so many rules, there's so much discipline. So take me back, Camp Rock musical, and then did you do any other musicals after that, or was that the last one?
There was that, and then I had another one a couple years later. But it wasn't a big production. It was an original. It was an original musical based on one of the biggest songwriters here, their music basically, and they turned it into a musical, and that only ran for like a week, because it was really just an opening, like testing the waters kind of thing of a musical. But the reason why it didn't really push through was because it was between me, or the leads of this musical was between me and this theater actress. Her name is Joanna Ampil, and at that time she was doing the show for that whole week, but she couldn't continue on doing the show because she had a tour. She needed to do Cats for there in London.
Oh wow.
And so we weren't able to push through with this certain musical, because also she was really the only like person who was able to give justice also to this role.
Right.
And so it was really just the two of that. But I love all my theater friends. I love the theater experience. Definitely the experience of just that discipline. And there's a reason why you're rehearsing for months and months and days on end. There's a reason for all of that. And sometimes you don't really realize it in the beginning and get so tired, but after, just especially for me, for Camp Rock, and looking back on all of that, like there's a reason why these theater actors and musicians and artists, they're like one of the strongest of artists there can be, because they know how to take care of themselves. They know how to pace. They know how to pace their singing, how to save their energy, especially if they're having to do multiple shows per day. And it's hard, even for me, like, how are these singers, like example, Cynthia Erivo, having to belt that note for I'm Here like every night or every hour? I don't know. Like, how are they able to do that? But there's a reason why theater is structured that way. Yeah.
It seems they really, I've never done theater. I've obviously seen my sister kind of grow up in that sense here in London. But it seems from my, I guess, ignorant observations, that they really do understand the idea of repetition and putting, it's like a workout. It's like going to the gym for them, and they understand it's a more athletic approach to music.
Definitely. That's for sure.
I apart from growing up doing music, because I'm a drummer, I spent the last 10 years playing tennis full time. And in tennis, you learn very early on that it is a game of repetition, but it's also just a game of consistency. So you do the same things a lot of the time, every day, for 7-8 hours a day, with breaks in the middle. No one plays for 8 hours a day. But and then the only approach I saw in music, which kind of replicated that tennis formula, was theater. And I was like, these guys, they're not like artists. They're like athlete artists. It's mental. So it's certainly awesome that you also took part in. I would consider you an athlete artist myself.
I try sometimes, because it's the same with me, even as a mainstream artist, or like here on a regular day. So let's say today here is it Monday? I think it's Monday here, Monday evening here.
Yeah, so Monday here as well.
It's Monday here. So I think if I didn't sing for a whole week, it would be hard for me to get back to singing, because it's the same. It's like what you guys said, that it's a muscle. And if you stop, it's like working out. If you stop working out, it's hard to get back into it. And so even though it's not like the really hardcore thing that I'm having to do every day, even if it's just blasting music and me singing along to it, it actually really does help a lot, at least for me. And so it's true. It's really singing and performing is really also just a sport. It's also a sport. It's also a sport that needs so much discipline and consistency to be able to attain like your goal for yourself as well.
So it goes theater, and then something that I only recently discovered was that you took part in The Voice Philippines. And I must say, out of all the contests in the world, and then I mean this, I think The Voice Philippines is the scariest one to be. Because
the competition, dude.
No, you know what you said. You said it earlier, like in your province, like in Cebu.
When you
go back, everyone sings and everyone feels like a judge. I feel the same way about the Philippines. Everyone in the Philippines, in general, everyone in the Philippines, for some reason, there's got some God-given sprinkle there that everyone has not the capability, but the initiative to sing. Because there's obviously people there that are probably shit at singing, but they just get drunk and go into karaoke. But as a general rule, it seems there is an initiative and it's part of the culture to sing. Therefore, as a big generalization, people would be better at singing at countries where singing isn't part of the culture. So out of all the countries that I wouldn't even dare to put an artist, into that contest, it would be that one. So what was that experience like going in there?
I mean, yeah, it's true. It's true. Like here in the Philippines, it's like there's so many amazing, amazing, and even right now on the internet, there's so many amazing talent popping up, and sometimes it can really feel like it's a competition every day. Well, but most especially in The Voice, because it was really a competition.
Yeah.
And so like me and actually Dave was also on The Voice with me, and we were on the same team, and so yes, he
That's
also
how you met.
sings. Not that's how we met again, because we met in 2011 and The Voice was 2013,
I think.
2014, yeah, something like that. And so we were able to kind of meet again after that first time of meeting each other in another show. And so definitely,
what a lovely love story.
It's 10 years also in the making. There's a lot that went through also. That's for another day. We'll take forever with just our love story. But I mean, for me at least, I wasn't new to the whole competition thing, because my training as a singer was singing competitions, like growing up into singing competitions, but especially for The Voice, also because it's televised, and just the nature also of TV shows, it's different, and just the concept also, because we were from the very first season.
That's right.
And so I mean, I loved watching the original The Voice from the States. I loved the concept, and just the moment that we heard that it was gonna come here also in the Philippines. We really just decided, me and my family just decided to go for it and just to try it out. And so I'm happy that we were able to take part in that. And definitely, I mean, even up to today, there's so many amazing singers, but me right now, I'm just at the point of my artistry and my career that I just want to be just putting out music that's real for me, and hopefully that'll be able to translate to other people as well, and for them to enjoy in their own time also.
Maury, there's like a buzz. I think it's coming from your mic. There's like I don't know, maybe if it's ours. Yeah, that's.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, that's better. Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
I think it stopped.
I think it was rubbing against something, perhaps. Like, when you
I'm
hear...
sorry.
That's okay. That's okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, I think it's fine. It's perfect. Yeah. No, but going back to what you said, I mean, certainly having that, I guess, pedigree of singing like yours, coming from many different competitions and things like that, I think it definitely aided you in the process of The Voice. I think that the thing about The Voice that I think a lot of people kind of forget as well, that as you mentioned, it is a TV show, it's a competition, and it's showbiz, it's a showbiz as it gets. So I'm sure, I guess that's another conversation for another day as well. But but it certainly, I simply just asked because it must have been just an experience, I guess.
Yeah. I just think it's a harsh environment to build your confidence in, because not only The Voice, and because it's being televised and it's a reality show, at the end of the day, it's entertainment for a whole nation. I think the building the performance skill in the competition environment, it's a completely different set of skills that you develop.
It's like an athlete again. It's like a more athletic approach.
It is, because you're constantly having to prove yourself. There is something to gain from it always. It's a very harsh environment. Everybody's there from their own.
There's winners, there's losers, and in art that's not the case.
And I think that's why it's so different when you grow up in the in your career from a competition standpoint, that when you grow up in the whole artistic side of things, when everything's a bit more formless, is a bit more
there's no winning
abstract.
or losing.
It's like art is art, and doesn't matter what it comes
just free
from.
flow.
And I think it's different. It's a completely different. It's a very harsh environment, and it takes a different type of personality. It takes a completely different type of structure from yourself. You learn to build shields upon your whole artistry. Tell me a little bit about how you shed those shields away, those layers away.
You think that took a toll on you?
Do you think that it would have been different if you were brought up in a completely different environment?
I think for me, it was really because I was surrounded by my family. I think that's what really kept me like grounded, throughout those years, especially during the beginning of my career, because going back to just different sacrifices, one of my sacrifices before, when I was starting my early years in my career, was that I couldn't go out and just see friends, just because of course we were just very focused on my career, so I didn't have time. I didn't have a lot of friends. Yeah, it was intense, and just also the pressure of being the breadwinner of the family, and so I had to kind of mature pretty quickly just to be able to also support my family in that way.
And so you had to prioritize when people your age wouldn't have to. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. I had to. I saw that very early in my life, in my childhood, and so that's why I guess and even up to now, it's just very important to be surrounded by the right kinds of people, and people who genuinely care for you, support you, help you. Sometimes if it needs for them to be honest, just to be able to help you improve, you need those people. And so definitely wasn't easy for me when I was starting, and even when I didn't win The Voice. I was really just up until the semifinals of the show, and that really took a toll also on me, just because we thought we could make it that far, but we didn't. But I was surrounded by my family at that time, and they allowed for me to also kind of grieve and mourn over that loss. And I even remember, because I lost singing the song "Who You Are" by Jessie J. I fought for that song just because I love that song. And even though during that time it wasn't a very popular song here in the Philippines, I wanted to sing that song just because I believed in the message so much. And so I sang that song. Long story short, I didn't get through to the grand finals of the show, and I hated that song. I didn't want to sing that song. I didn't want to listen to that song. I hated it, and I even told my parents I don't want to sing. I don't want to sing for a while, or I don't want to sing at all, just because I just felt sad and I felt defeated. But then, of course, they allowed me to just go through that period and that season. And for maybe after a couple of days and weeks, I was fine afterwards. But I guess, yes, it just goes back to just being surrounded by the right kinds of people. And even until now, I'm just glad that I'm being surrounded by like Dave, who's constantly pushing me and supporting me and helping me with my career and music as well, and just all my different friends who have been very supportive, and just very supportive in my personal life, especially when I'm having to go through also emotional breakdowns, because I still do up until this very day, of just anxiety, and it even came to the point before, when I go through those phases, I didn't want to tell my family just because I didn't want to stress them out. And so I learned to kind of keep it within myself and not share it with everyone. But then I also had the experience of, because I'm not sharing, I would explode in different situations and in the wrong places. And so it was with the help of people that allowed me to just be honest and just let me vent sometimes. And especially right now, when I'm also having to go through some stress points also, I just like take a step back and just talk to people, maybe forget about it for maybe a day, go back to it, and then maybe I'm kind of renewed. So yeah, it's important to have really a very good and strong support system to back you up.
For sure, it certainly seems like you have like you wear your heart on your sleeve, you know. And I think you can. I think anyone that would get the chance to speak to you in person or even meet you would probably see that, and I think it translates into your music and your singing too, and even in your mannerisms and the way you express yourself. It's truly genuine, which it's very refreshing too, because I always mention this, but at the end of the day, it's all a business too. This is all a weird facade, because it's an industry.
It's an industry.
But I feel
business.
Like if you were an accountant, you would be having the same type of issues, and just that would be behind closed doors. Nobody would know.
Exactly. All kinds of work have their own kinds of stress and pressure, and so it's just a matter. I saw this quote or like a post somewhere that you just have to choose your hard, because everything is hard. Like maybe if like our job or me in the showbiz industry is hard, people who are out there like the medical team, that's also hard, people in the offices, that's also hard. And so it's just a matter of choosing your heart, and which heart you're willing to just face and just have the heart to really pursue, because whatever facet in life, it's not easy, especially if you have a goal for yourself.
I think that the best advice I've ever heard regarding that matter, it came from my father. And I think one day we were discussing, and I think he painted it in the way of, when you're in the picture or inside the painting, you don't have an opportunity to see outside of it and appreciate the painting that you're on. So it's the same with, I think it's certainly more true than ever in people like yourselves and artists who are always in the picture. They never get a chance to actually look at the picture. They're always inside of it, and people are always looking. So
is that fish tank effect situation? It's the fish tank effect.
The only reason why I wouldn't call it a fish tank is because the fish is trapped there and it has no way out. But in our case, because you're a human and you have 2 legs, you have the chance to leave the picture and I think having lovely people around you like that, I would imagine Dave, allow you to see that, and sometimes even take you by the hand and let's look at what we've done. Let's also paint other pictures, and let's then be more aware. So it's certainly awesome to hear, and I'm sure other fans as well would be very happy to hear that you're certainly in a more mature place and
in a healthy environment too. I think it gives everybody a peace of mind, and I think it's
And I don't mean mature like you were immature before. I mean mature now, like evolution, just in the sense of
things that come with 10 years.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. It's an interesting development in seeing the change in the years, in the time. A lot has happened in the online world. In 10 years, it's a completely different scene to what it used to be. It's without the internet's development and like the whole social media movement, we wouldn't be included and involved in the worldwide music. It was a very interesting journey for me personally, like from a singing, performing background, gigging live, having live performances, growing up in that environment, and being very secluded to a very minimal I don't know, like category of music, like not knowing that the world had so many sounds and some different takes in the same genres. It was really eye-opening to me to discover music from all around the world and stumble upon your incredible body of work. What has been one of the, I don't know, international artists that you were stumbled upon and then you were like, wow, I didn't know this was possible? If you have
There's so many. There's so many of them. Just so many also just musical influences, my go-to artists. One of my favorites would definitely be Beyonce, just because like her journey also as an artist, how she was also very trained, starting, even being in a group. That's so much. I believe that I was never in a group. Like my dad was smart enough not to put me in a girl group or a band. Super. Because he knows what can possibly happen, and he kind of saved me from all that stress. And so
good for your mental health. He really looked after you.
I know. He knew what he was doing. And so I love looking up to and just studying also like Beyonce and how she was able to just where she is right now, coming from where she started. And it's very inspiring to just see her journey from like a young fresh artist and being very hungry, being with other girls who are just as passionate about their dream and their talent, and then just having to break through on their own and having to prove that they're capable of so much, being an actress, being a producer, a director, and now having her own family, but at the same time still pursuing her music and still pursuing her craft and everything. And I mean, she's top of everyone, I would have to believe.
I would agree.
Because, right? Like even her performing, I mean, I haven't seen her perform recently, but even in the past couple of performances that she has done, like just how much passion she still gives. It's like the first Beyonce. And like it's the first time you're watching her every time, just because she's so passionate and she just gives her all every time she's up on stage. And for me, that's something I also want to emulate. And just going back to longevity, from where she was before going to where she is now, having her own family and being so successful in life, but still being at the top of her game, and everyone just having to respect her and like support everything just she's doing right now, regardless of just what she wants in her life. And
she's
just
probably the best example of longevity I can
totally
think of.
agree.
Super.
I mean,
yeah.
I think she's probably the best example of that. I think, probably Beyonce longevity wise as well. Who else would be longevity wise a great example?
Goodness, there's tons. I would think Black Eyed Peas is a great example of longevity. I mean, coming out in 1998 for the first album, and then to what they're doing now, it's absolutely insane. There are plenty. I mean, Shakira, for an example well. Another great soloist that, you think about their long life, their life in the industry.
Do you ever listen to like Latin music?
Latin, I haven't really been able to go into there yet. That's one of the things I haven't really gotten.
Drop us a text. Let us introduce you to it.
I would love to. Please email me. I would love to start a new playlist in my Spotify.
Email you. What are we? 57.
I'm so sorry. That's so old.
Listen, there is a whole idea of live performing and growing up in the performance life of things like you have. What was the moment that you realized that was the rest of your life, regardless of the pressures in the family, the industry side of things? There must have been a moment personally when you chose this as the rest of your life. And because
you knew this was gonna be, I guess, like you wanna do this as a career, and
that's right. Because regardless of the environmental pressures, you wouldn't be doing it now if you weren't
want to.
Yeah, if you weren't so personally involved in it. What was that moment?
I'm not sure if this answers the question, but I'd like to share another backstory.
Yes, do.
I'd like to share this experience. So being in Cebu, I have been joining different singing competitions and just doing small gigs around the province, and doing all these small shows, and even opening up for all the big acts at that time. And then I remember I was maybe 10 or 11. I was that young, and there was this one artist that my dad really liked listening to, and I also learned to fall in love. Her name is Nina.
Nina.
Oh, we love
her. Her name is Nina.
She sang
Someday.
Someday, right?
Yes.
Absolutely stunning stuff.
Yes. So my dad became a very huge fan of Nina, and so I was studying as a student by the day, singer by night sometimes. And my dad found out that Nina was doing a mall show. She was promoting one of her albums at that time, and so my dad invited the whole family, just 4 of us, whole family, to the mall. And I just remember Nina was singing one of her like hits at that time. Like she did a very big cover of Foolish Heart also. And I just remember watching her from where I was sitting, and just having that light bulb, or just that realization of, I was kind of feeling something that I couldn't explain it. I was feeling something, just like a warmth inside me. And after that warmth, I had this just this idea, or this thought, like just a realization in my brain that what I'm feeling right now watching Nina perform, that's what I want to give people. That's why I want to sing. Like I love being able to watch her. Also, just I'm sure she's enjoying what she's doing, and just being able to sing for people and sing with people, and just I love that feeling that I got as an audience member, of just watching her and just being able to enjoy the music with her. And so I don't know, it was just in that I think that's the most, or the highlight of around that time, of me realizing that I really wanted to pursue it, that this is something that I want to do, and this is something also that I want to give people. I want to share music. I want to give them that feeling of music, being able to comfort them, being their company. And then just maybe a while after that, just sharing this feeling and just this thought with my family, and them realizing that this is something that I really wanted to do, and being just on board, full support of my dream, they asked me if I was ready to face like showbiz, just because I mean it's a hard environment, it's a harsh environment, especially for someone so young.
Horrendous.
And so
Terrible.
that's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. I'm sure it's not different here in Manila compared to everywhere else.
Yeah.
I think the best word that you used is crazy. It's a mad world. It's not real.
It's crazy. Yeah. It's really mad. And so I remember them asking me over and over, are you sure you want to pursue it? Because like there's just so many sacrifices. You won't be able to go to school. You won't have your privacy. You might be doing this and doing that, doing this, but we'll be around. But are you sure? And I just remember just being, yes, let's do it. That's why when we found out that there was going to be an audition to another singing competition from like that was nationwide, TV nationwide singing competition, or not even a singing competition, it was a talent competition. It was kind of like America's Got Talent, something like that. So it was a mix of different talents in one show. The moment we found out there was that kind of opportunity for me to kind of share more of myself, not just in Cebu, we immediately decided to take it on. I left, I took an absent from school for a couple of days, flew here, me and my mom singing. I think I sang, they didn't want me to sing any of my contest pieces songs just because it felt too, I don't know what term to use. We have a term here in the Philippines. Yeah, or not. Something like that.
Icky?
So they sorry.
Icky?
Not icky, but I guess it was overused.
Overdone
Songs. So like example, my jam at that time, like the songs I would sing because I was doing a lot of singing competitions were like example Beyonce's Listen or One Moment in Time by Whitney Houston and just Celine Dion songs. They wouldn't let me sing any of those. Right. And so I ended up singing, or they gave me the chance to pass other songs, and they chose Empire State of Mind by Alicia Keys. And so I sang that song. That's actually also on YouTube. So I look very different there.
I don't look 14.
Please disclaimer, I was 14 and the makeup artist I think the makeup artist doesn't know I was 14 at that time. I don't look 14.
Fair enough.
And so hold on a second. Look that up. Hold on a second.
No.
Hold on a second, Maury. 1 second.
Okay. I'll be with you on this one. But yeah, I was 14. This was back in 2010. All right. So this was like the very first nationwide TV opportunity that I had.
What show was it?
It's called Talentadong Pinoy.
TNT.
Yes. No, it's different. It's also different.
Okay, sorry.
Talentado. So it's like talented, talentadong Pinoy. Filipino. Okay. Yeah.
Let's have
so, oh no.
Oh my God, which one is it?
It's I think it's the first video. Yeah. Oh no.
No. Maury, if you don't want to do it, we can't stop.
No, it's okay. I'm like, oh no, but it's okay. I actually want to see it also. I want to go back to this and just
2010. By the way, you're very young.
Sorry?
You're quite young, like just now.
Right now? Yeah, I just turned 25.
Yeah, you're so young. Yeah.
10 years.
That's what I mean. It's like, cause I guess in my head, because we keep talking, 10 years in the industry. Maybe you don't realize this, Maury, but that's fucking rare, dude. A decade in the industry, man. When you begin when you're 15, 14, that's mental, mate. Mental. So that's why I guess in my head it's like, I don't know, I expected you to be, 35 or something.
Although you don't look it though, let's be honest.
Thank you.
Oh my God, I'm excited to see
Oh my gosh. I'm scared. We're probably going to be speaking Filipino, but I'm singing an English song anyways.
We understand a tiny bit of Tagalog.
Really? Oh, nice.
A tiny.
This guy was...
Look at Maury.
Yeah. They have my name wrong. That's okay. Spelling. Pet peeve. We were basically talking about how I had a tumor before. When I was when I was younger, I had a tumor here. So I'm not sure if the camera, there. So I have a tumor here. It was a submandibular, wow, it's a very deep word. But basically it wasn't a cancerous tumor, but it just grew and kept growing and kept growing. And it came to the point where it was very alarming that me and my family decided to just have it operated. And it was scary because it was so close to my vocal cords. Yeah. And so, yeah, that was what that guy was just sharing about the drama on TV side.
Yes. We understand, but it was obviously a successful operation, but
it was.
You were at a risk of not singing for life, I guess.
Yeah, it's scary, especially. I mean, it could be more. It could just it could be more than just my voice, because of course there's like just crazy veins that are over there, and my mom's a nurse, so it heightened her fear of just what else could happen. And so, but it was something that we all just decided to do and just pursued, and we're just so blessed and grateful that I'm still okay and we're here 10 years later.
It is indeed a success story.
Whoa! Oh my gosh.
Young Morissette, huh? Was that you? Obviously, you were in school. Do you wear uniforms and stuff, right?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, so
I will do whatever it takes.
Hey!
You did whatever it took.
No, okay, I had to. Oh my gosh.
Here we go. Oh my God, I'm nervous.
I don't know if it's a speaker or the video because it's so old, but it's so bass heavy in there, and so I don't know if you can hear it.
Let's just have a moment. This is 14-year-old Morissette, which, by the way, sounds like a full-grown woman. Nothing to do with the stylist. I totally don't understand what I'm hearing. It's so cool. Sorry.
It's so warm.
You're probably cringing right now, but I think this is so cool.
Wait, if before reacting and reviewing yourself was bizarre, this time it must be.
It must have been better.
I'm cringing, but at the same time I'm happy I'm also reviewing it, because I mean it's a part of the 10 years. We wouldn't be here if it weren't for
that. That's right. Oh, how fun. If you want to stop, just shout at any moment.
It's okay.
It's a live in audience as well, right?
Yes.
There you go, Murray.
It's the 14-year-old.
Nice.
Absolutely stunning.
Hey, that's a good performance.
Why would you cringe at this?
That's a good performance.
Dude, if
the baby Morissette.
If my 14-year-old videos ever make the light of day, I think I'll be glad.
That's gonna be the title, actually. Morissette reacts to baby Morissette.
I know. It's a whole content.
It is fantastic. You should be proud of this beginning. If this was the beginning of many great things, this really did set the tone for what your career was about to hold. Fantastic. Proud moments. Proud moments.
You can definitely tell as well that again, not to turn into this compliment shower, but you can definitely tell, I guess, the pedigree you've come from, because you are 14, and it is I think that what you said is your first big television national audition, so it's certainly all the reps and the reps of all the other contests and all the other singing competitions. It shines through, because after you do something for so long, the muscle memory just kicks in the moments when the lights are on.
I was gonna say there is a sense of maturity to the performance that only comes with that whole friction of being on stage. I think I was watching another singing competition here. I'm not a big fan of watching like singing competitions anywhere, but I came across the video because somebody sent it, and I thought that was a really great piece of advice from one of the judges. They were saying to this contestant how it's important to go out there and have that friction on stage. Like they were saying how great the singer was and how good their performance was, but it was lacking essence. And I think that only comes with that grounding, that settlement only comes with the friction, with the repetition of being under pressure and having the people's first take reaction right there in the moment, because nothing can prepare you for the unpredictability of being on stage.
In Spanish we call it like roce or toque, which means like touch or like feel.
Touch or feel. And I think it's pretty obvious here that you're seeing a seasoned performer
at the start, certainly at the start, but you had your reps in, mate.
Like, there was nothing to be scared of, like.
So certainly showcasing a different side of your range as well, I guess.
That's right. It was perhaps too easy for you as well. This was perhaps way too freaking easy for you. You were probably like, walk in the park, let's go.
It's a more like hype song, which I wasn't used to, because I was more like competition, like game face on, like showing off. This one I had to kind of like shift my kind of performing, and just because my objective for at least this performance was for people to enjoy it, because it's not a ballad. No. It's more like everybody sing with me, hey.
Got heels on and everything, huh?
What was?
I don't recognize any of the judges.
Yeah, what was the judges' reactions after that?
I don't really remember now.
I guess we can kind of skip through it.
Yeah, we can.
But one of the judges. So I think there's 4 of them. That's the judges there. One of the judges is actually my manager now. So the kind of mature guy with hair, not the one that's.
So this guy over here.
In the right. Oh, sorry.
Wait.
This guy, the one that's doing this.
Yeah.
Far right.
Yeah. We like to call him. He was thinking this whole time, like, But that guy, his name is Audie Himora. He's actually, we like to call him here in the Philippines, everywhere. He's the king of musical theater here.
Oh, wow.
Right.
He's amazing. Like, I remember the very first time I call him Tito Audie. He's like an Uncle Audie. I remember the very first time, and this was the first time I met him. And then a couple years later, I was invited to watch one of his shows. Yeah, one of his performances. He basically did the producers.
Oh, I love that show. It's such an intricate, hard. The score for that show is so crazy.
That one, and I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with La Cage. It's basically it's a drag show musical, and it's like, where is my manager? That's not my manager. Yeah. Like, oh my god,
it's as if he was acting.
But like, like that guy, he right now he's like the head of, he's one of my very, very close like he's basically family. I lived with him and his family for a year when I left the house. So like I was able to really grow my relationship with him as not just as a manager and an artist. He really became like a very close uncle, or like a very close just a family member basically, and just helping me out and guiding me. Yes, up until now. Beautiful. So that was really the first time that I was able to meet my managers. It was on that show, even though I didn't win this day of this competition, of this TV series. For this day, I didn't win, but my other manager, his name is David Cosico. He decided to approach Audie, and he told him that can I go backstage and introduce myself to her, because David saw the potential that early, and so Audie told him, go ahead, just approach her, and maybe you'll give her like just help her out with her career or whatever her dreams are. And so 10 years later, we still the same team.
Wow.
It's the same family.
That's really beautiful, Armina, because
it's hard to find that synergy in the industry, especially when it comes to managerial type of things, like the things that are a little bit out of the reach of the artist itself.
I'm sure you've heard the horror stories, Maury, as well, but it's certainly
of course
very
I'm pretty sure you've seen them up close as well, like
of course. And of course, especially coming from Cebu, like of course my parents would always tell me, like, you guys have to be careful with the people you're dealing with there, because you never know. You're just basically the trust is so hard to build.
That's right.
But he was very, David at that time, he was just very he really pursued just helping me, contacting me and my family constantly, and giving me trying to encourage me and giving me different opportunities. Nice. And we were able to really build that relationship with him and just the whole management team that I'm in right now, Stages. And so it's just nice to be able to just blossom and just grow also with
absolutely
them.
I mean, it's a great full circle experience, and I think the future holds absolutely promising and wonderful things for you. And I can't wait for your concert. I think it's going to be absolutely fantastic. I wish you all the best in the US tour as well, because I think that is very big.
I can't wait for that US tour. We are thinking
a huge moment for you.
I mean, depending on how this Christmas goes here in the UK, like restrictions and stuff like that.
It's looking a little bleak, but
but we'll see what it looks like traveling wise, and we'll love to jump out there in the US and hopefully see you as well.
Let's do it. Just message Kevin or message us. We'd be down. We're actually gonna have a lot of like just open time while we're in the States, just because I think not all of the shows have been posted yet. That I'm gonna be me and my team are gonna be leaving as early as like the first or second week of January,
right?
And all the shows are gonna be during the weekends, and so we have a lot of like open time while we're there.
That's
and so we're gonna be like just doing different kinds of stuff there with Dave. He's gonna be bringing his equipment, both audio and camera stuff.
Nice.
And we're just gonna be trying to just like do take advantage, like backpack. Take advantage of the time as well, and just backpack, shoot everything and record everything, and just take as much as we can while we're also there. So I'm very excited also, just because I have a lot of places in this tour, or a lot of cities in this tour that I've never been before. Nice. Like I've never been to Texas, but my grandfather is actually staying there right now.
Oh, nice.
And so I'm excited to be able to go there. And I think I also have one in Illinois, and my grandma is also there. And I'm just so excited to be able to just, I think basically to put it simply, this is my very first like actual tour in the States, where it's not just in one state, where it's not just California. I'm jumping from one state to another, which is also going to be a challenge because it's also different time zones and different weather conditions. But as we've learned, we have to just take care of ourselves. But I'm just ultimately excited to be able to perform for people again, and just also spread the word, because this is happening before the concert. Also spread the word about the Pheonix concert as well while I'm also there.
For sure. I mean, let us know when all the dates get released and everything, and we're more than happy to share them.
We'll make sure our audience knows all about it.
Because it's really exciting as well, and I'm very excited as well about Pheonix in January. Again, I think it's
exciting, very exciting.
It's I not only excited, but I think it's important. Like it's so cool to see this full circle moments, and see the magic happen and unfold on in front of your eyes with the online concert, and then obviously seeing you tour live. So again, Maury, I'm so happy, and it was lovely to really have a chance to speak with you.
Likewise. Thank you so much for having me. I had a blast. I forgot about the time. What time is it over there?
It's the morning. So I think right now it's like 1. I don't know.
I think it's like 1 o'clock here in the afternoon. So we got plenty of time.
But Maury, I do know it's quite late there, so I do apologize for
it's okay.
But
I sleep late also, so it's okay.
But again, thank you so much. And if there's anything you'd like to share, or perhaps,
drop your socials, anything you like to promote.
This is the time.
This is the time for you to do that.
This is the time. I guess. Thank you once again for having me on board on your channel. I had a blast just sharing so many stuff, backstories with you guys, and to everyone who's also here joining us with in this stream also and podcast. Thank you so much. I guess if you haven't yet, please subscribe and follow and like and all my social media. I'm on Facebook, YouTube, I'm on Instagram, I'm also on TikTok. I mean, those are the primary, I think, for now, right now. Of course, my very first co-written and co-produced EP is out. It's called Signature. Please check it out on Spotify or on Apple or on YouTube. Also, the music videos and different contents are also up on my channel. And of course, my Pheonix concert is happening January 23 and 24. It's happening on a platform called KTX. It's like a live streaming platform. It's a one-time thing. So guys, please don't miss out. In celebration of my 10 years in the industry, I'm so excited to share this magic of work with everybody. Get your tickets at ktx.ph/category/Pheonix.
Memorize that.
We will link all of this stuff.
Not to worry, Maury. There will be a lovely text at the bottom of this where people can click.
And
I know. I should have just said, click here.
That's
click here. Click here to get your tickets. Yes, thank you.
Once more, Maury. You've been an absolute pleasure.
A blessing to talk to you. Absolutely fantastic.
Our doors here in London will forever be open for you and Dave, and all your team. I do hope to meet you in person one day, and and be able to do a second podcast, but live.
Let's do it.
In the flesh.
But anyways, everybody, Morissette.
Yay.